Welcome to Arabesque. This week we are taking you along for the tour of the British-Iraqi artist Athier Mousawi's exhibition, Improbable Possibilities.
Athier, as an artist, has he did his first solo show in the UK earlier this year. Before that, he had shows in Dubai, in Istanbul, in Lebanon, and in Paris. And so this year is quite an important year for him in London and in the UK. I think now he's just going to give us a brief introduction to this body of work.
Improbable possibilities, it's about essentially things which are theoretically possible but kind of essentially impossible, or almost impossible to visually grasp. So the notion that just because something exists doesn't mean it can be proven, and just because something can be proven doesn't mean it necessarily exists.
You've worked between Paris, Iraq and London.
Yeah.
Do you find that kind of living and working in London has influenced this body of work?
Paris and London are very, very different in terms of they're kind of really lovely places to make work, and you have your life and you see your friends and you make work and you go to galleries, and there's they're lovely places to be for me. But Iraq's almost not real. It's just kind of more of a concept, and the memories that I do have are so small and so distant that it's like I've made them into something which I want them to be. I lived in London most of my life, apart from when I was younger. We lived in Paris and tried to live in Baghdad for a few years, but that just couldn't work out. So London through and through. 2 years. I studied graphic design for my BA, and then my MA I did at St Martin's in illustration with design. So I think that very much influences my approach. Always been quite design focused, and yeah, so I guess kind of design and narrative is what I've always been interested in. My dad is an architect based in Iraq at the moment, between Iraq and the UK, and he's always been massively influential in me, and his approach on form and his approach on space, and his kind of ideas which are bigger than reality, And my mother, as an artist, is also, and a sculptor, very, very influential for me. So, my work, especially from a young age and even till now, is I like to combine a fluidity of form and colour with kind of the structural elements which I've always seen in my father's work. So, yeah, very, very influential on all sides. From Iraq to my father to my mother, I see the three very much intertwined. I am as British as I am Iraqi in a way, and I love that. I love that in Britain you can feel very British, and Iraq is my kind of centre of gravity, but it's not real to me in every aspect. And in terms of artistic influences, everyone's going to respond. If a true artist will always respond with whatever they're interested in. I don't think it's my art is concerned with being this trend or that trend. It is it's kind of a plethora of influences and expression of things I'm interested in. This work is, first I wanted to try and visualize what it would look like inside the bridge when matter's being spaghettified. Just as a word, it's such a funny word, and it just made me want to make a work about it. So this essentially was a big razor blade that would make an incision through the cut, and all the works in this series have this kind of incision opening point with spaghettified matter inside it. And yeah, that's what these works were about. There's a second body of works in the show. Colours are the way everyone interprets them differently. Some people can say optimistic and hopeful. One can describe colourful colours as being poisonous and, harshly vivid. And, there's lots of different ways that people can take them in. I mean, for me, I've always loved colour, and I love complex colour palettes. This one I'd say it's a really simple colour palette, but it worked for what I was trying to achieve, with a very harsh red piercing out. But yeah, essentially I love the grapple with colours kind of fighting for dominance on a canvas, and it's up to you as the artist to balance it all, I want the works to feel playful, that's a big part of the way I work is, you feel optimistic and excited when you confront the canvases. And my studio is a place that I spend most of my time, so the want to be in a place where I'm kind of asking questions which I find just really interesting and trying to answer things interesting. I'd like the ethos of what happens in my space to be echoed within the work, and if people can take that away, then that's great.